Hello, and welcome back to Mass Effect 3. I'm Chance, also known as Maras, and in the last episode we fought the Reaper, not the Reapers, oh my god. We fought the Cerberus forces and got the information on what the Crucible was. And it turns out it was the Citadel. So now we have to find the Citadel, which is currently on Earth. Somewhere around London, seems what Anderson says. This recording, I'm basically going to read out all the war assets we have to show, okay, how ready we are for the thing. Then I'm going to go talk to all my crew, and then I'll probably end the episode, because I don't know, I can't remember how long the final mission is. It might only be 30 minutes, but I actually don't have much time today, so I figured I'd just do all the, crew stuff first, and then end it, and then head straight into the final mission. So, let's read what we have in terms of assets for this war. First things first, Terminus fleets. The Terminus fleet is a assortment of mercenary vessels and pirate ships bound together by little more than a common geography and a fear of reapers. Despite this volatile mix, the fleet seems functioning as one under the leadership of the crime warlord Arya Tolok. Updated. Bloodpack mercenaries have been compared to floods, wildfires, and other calamities. It recruits Krogan and Vorcha, preferably those with no regard for collateral damage, on a rare occasion when the brute forces are insufficient. Bloodpack is willing to develop weapons of mass destruction, normally banned in Citadel space. Updated. Eclipse Corporation specializes in smart security solutions, developing tactics around surgical strikes, sabotage, electrical and electronic warfare. These mercenaries are supported by a sizable army of combat mechs. They rely heavily on tech for support in combat. And we also apparently have Blue Suns, but it's just not here for some reason. Rachni workers. Not all mindless insects, the Rachni are capable of feats of engineering comparable with any sentient species. While initially greeted with suspicion, the Rachni workers dispatched to the Crucible have integrated into the project smoothly. They work especially well on tasks that benefit group work. The senior Crucible staff members are learning to trust the Rachni with more complex problems. Volus Dreadnought Quinu. Volus have produced only produced one dreadnought, the Quinu, named after a diplomat who negotiated their client race status with the Turians. The Quinu is the only Volus ship that of its class, was remarkably well armed. Its broadside cannons and main gunner are Thanex magnetic hydrodynamic weapons. A Turian general touring the Quinu after its main system voyage enthusiastically declared that the ship could charp planet 3 times over. While its construction was funded entirely by Elkus Combine Corporation, the Dreadnought was jointly gifted the Vol Protectorate and Durian Hierarchy upon completion. Gifted to the Vol Protectorate and Hierarchy upon completion. Shadow Broker Support Team. The Shadow Broker's strength lies in her connections. The Dr. Liara Tassoni has a team of operatives able to procure almost any supplies at any time by using extensive network of bribes, blackmail, and favors. This logistics support has become important to building the Crucible. Distribution of communications and travel makes gathering resources risky and at the best of times. Elcor Flotilla. The Elcor Flotilla possesses few cruisers and carriers, but its real value is its troop transport. Because of their shape, the Elcor carry shoulder-mounted heavy weapons, VI run systems handle reloading, targeting, and ammunition selection. It's not unusual to see a troop of Elcors toting rocket launchers, chain guns, and other intimidating weapons on their backs as if they're no weight at all. If they weigh nothing at all. Shadowbroker Wet Squad. As the new Shadowbroker, Liara Tassoni has the loyalty of her predecessor's assassin squad, a small but lethal team of soldiers called for a rare occasion when the information isn't enough to silence a target. Their methods vary with each mission, from the suitable poisons to bombing entire buildings. Wet Squad is dedicated to weather the range of destruction the new broker requires. Dr. Tassoni has put them to work against the Reapers and Cerberus. Spectre Unit. Spectres are the left hand of the Citadel, enforcing law and stopping crimes with galactic repercussions. While Spectres usually work alone, the Reaper threat gave them cause for these extraordinary agents to assemble an elite unit capable of operating in enemy territory without backup. Spectre John Bao, while not their official leader, is the group's spokesperson. He has passed important intelligence gathered by the unit to Hackett and the Fifth Fleet. Volus bombing fleet. The Volus prefer air power in conflicts, counting on the Turians for ground support. They maintain several flotillas and of heavy bomber frigates capable of warfare in any atmosphere. Hanar and Drell forces. The Hanar have sent their warships to engage the Reapers to repay Commander Shepard for saving their homeworld. Though their navy is relatively small, the Hanar have provided the services of their best Drell combat specialist. They are accomplished spies, saboteurs, assassins, and trained at an extremely young age. While the Hanar are normally loath to send trusted allies into open warfare, these are desperate times. Updated. A Menagel formula, especially for the Hanar, has been distributed to Hanar civilians and fleet captains. Batarian fleet. Once a formidable Batarian navy has all been annihilated when the Reapers struck Karshan. The enraged survivors had gathered into a single remaining fleet, the Batarian refugees enlisting by thousands, desperate for a sense of purpose after all destruction of their homeworld. No collection of vessels is more eager to engage Reaper than Karsan's last warships. Updated. The highest-ranking officer left in the Himanji, Balak, is now the last Batarian military leader. His leadership drive and barely contained fury has galvanized his troops. While Balak bears a deep hatred for the Alliance, he would do anything to save his people, and has grudgingly joined forces with humanity to stop the Reapers. Updated. Batarian refugees are rallying around Pillars of Strength, finding courage in the sacred artifacts recovery. Citadel Defense Forces, which doesn't make sense, and the Citadel is no longer a part of our thing, but whatever. The Council created a Citadel Defense Force to support Shepard in the war against the Reapers. The CDF includes ships, soldiers from every race, council race, complements from a species without official membership status have also quietly joined. After an attempted coup, no offer assistance have turned away by the Council and its advisors. Updated. Increase refugees on the Citadel depleted resources that might have otherwise gone to defense systems and personnel. Updated. Civilians volunteering at emergency clinics help save lives by processing patients, assisting doctors, and helping some of the burden off the Citadel's overtaxed medical staff. Updated. Warning people in the Citadel to prepare for a war has improved civilian readiness. Updated. A con artist exploiting refugees was thrown off the Citadel. Security improved on the docks as a result. Updated. Spectre authorization released medical supplies from customs to Guatemala Hospital, improving quality of patient care. Updated. Spectre gave CSEC permission to tap into surveillance on private citizens. CSEC used footage, making several arrests, improving security. Updated. CSEC authorized to train civilian militia, strengthen their defense forces. Updated. Housing was found for students of Grissom Academy too young to work on the protein device. These gifted teenagers have been helping, however, by dealing with any repetitive problems that cannot be delegated to VIs. Updated. CSEC is focusing on small crimes and misdemeanors, spread their forces thin, decreasing efficiency when delivering with larger threats. Updated. After reassurances that keep money in the bank, it's critical to war effort. Volus merchants have making donations to relief efforts and defense forces on the Citadel. Updated. Geth jamming frequency upgraded to Citadel's automated defense systems. Updated. Schematics recovered by Commander Shepard helping CSEC locate and shut down active turrets left by service on the Citadel. Updated. Schematics of biotic amplifiers from Grissom Academy increases the endurance of Asari under fire. Updated. Book of Plenex declares that every Volus must aid those in need during times of want. News of this book recovery inspired many Volus citizens to donate generous amounts to Citadel charities and defense funds. Updated. Elcor rejoiced as the code at Ancients was recovered. With hopes of restored it, they rallied to help move supplies on the Citadel for war effort. Updated. The Wings of Elune, named after revered physician, inspired civilians to volunteer at Citadel refugee clinics and hospitals. God damn. Governor Grothan Paznas. Governor of a Batarian colony, Kamala was outspoken in the early hours of the Reaper assault, blaming Alliance for destruction of Batarian combuis that were in fact destroyed by the Reapers. Now liberated from his world, the governor has undergone a dramatic conversion. His daily extranet videos rally his former conservative xenophobic subjects to embrace his Citadel species as brothers and sisters in arms. Unlike many Batarian politicians, he avoids micromanaging military affairs, content with inspirational tasks and logistical nightmare of providing urgently needed relief to Batarian refugees. Void Devil's Fighter Wing. Void Devils are a recent military creation consisting of Vorcha fighter pilots trained by human and Turian mentors. Though they're uniformly young by other species standards, the Devils have laser focus on the task of taking out enemy ships. Courageous to the extreme, in the extreme, they are also notably disciplined for Vorcha. During the invasion of their homeland, the Devils fought hard but ultimately obeyed the order to retreat, while the wing was still intact, leaving them alive but burning for revenge. Vorcha Labor Team. These, oh my god, those goggles. They don't even look like they're goggles. It just looks like they're part of their skin. These socialized Vorcha were maintenance and calibration crew on a small scientific outpost orbiting Trix. Such skilled labor is rare among the Vorcha, but not unheard of since the Vorcha, trained by other species for prehensive tasks, develop finely tuned nerves and senses. Additionally, this crew can heal cellular damage caused by radiation exposure, which is useful since Crucible is being built where no planet's magnetic sphere protects it. Extra vehicle activity on the hull is often required. Liquid assets. No war can be fought without bankroll, and its corporate mavens, mavens of Ilium know it. Having escaped an invasion, the so-called Gang of Five is leveraging their staggering financial power to acquire the best talents and materials for the Prothean device. They're doing so in necessary ignorance, believing that they are hiring and acquiring parts of the new kind of fusion plants as the device existence is tightly a guarded secret. Leviathan Enthralled Team, Jesus, 400. Mixed species team of special operation soldiers have volunteered to covertly deliver Leviathan artifacts beyond enemy lines. These attacks aim to make Reaper creatures thralls of Leviathans. On a small scale, this could cause chaos and disruption. On a large scale, it could, given enough time, it could form an army of Reaper creatures dedicated to exterminating their own kind. The team's major limiting factor of small numbers of artifacts and reluctance of Alliance commands to operate openly with such a potent weapon for fear Reapers might develop a countermeasure. Omega's Ezo Horde. As promised, Arya has started transporting her Ezo supplies to the Alliance, although the initial delivery was somewhat hampered by Alliance security unease in dealing with a group that mostly thinks as space pirates. The transfer of resources is now ongoing. To facilitate the process, a new freight company flying under Omega flag has been founded. The Omega Correlation of Cargo Transporter is a ragtag group that is nonetheless proven unerring, successful in both swiftness and their deliveries and security of its cargo. Omega's raiding fleet, which is very lower than the Ezo Horde. Though comprised of disparate range of ships, Omega Rum Fleet is provided itself to Alliance. Every way it counts. Their first engagement occurred during the orientation, where the Alliance ship thought they were meeting. Overwhelmed the Reaper attack, the Rum was told to avoid the rendezvous point, but instead they followed Fusion, their flagship, straight into combat and saved the doomed ships. Alliance ships were saved, and Rum, recklessly led by the cheerfully ruthless Captain Jaral, has since been detailed to most troubled Reaper fronts, and each time has helped to turn the tide. Rum landing parties also have sterling, if somewhat bloodthirsty, reputation, particularly when it comes up to Reaper's phantoms. General Oleg Petrovsky. General Oleg Petrovsky is now in Alliance custody. Is being interrogated at an undisclosed location due to the nature of his work. On Omega, the interrogation and briefing team is led by both military and science experts to ensure the veracity of Petrovsky's information. The location of an important Cerberus lab has already been provided by the prisoner and has since been destroyed. The Alliance officials believe Petrovsky can still provide substantial critical information on Cerberus activities and likely to approve on asylum procedures that have started by Alliance legal aid assigned to Petrovsky's case. Oops, I did not mean to leave. Oh boy, I have way more to read. Hold on. Taking a drink of water. An Alliance. My God. Alliance Engineering Corps. The Alliance Engineering Corps cuts roads through mountains and builds bases on asteroids, while bulk of the AEC has active wartime duties. Their brightest helping build a device of Prothean origin recovered on Mars. Due to staggering amount of raw materials required, the AEC has given unprecedented emergency funding for any alliance resources that will not interfere with deployment of troops. Updated Prothean data drives discovered on Sonax Industries have been turned over to the Alliance engineers. Updated, the Prothean artifact known as the Obelisk of Karza is inscribed with specific technological terms and measurements useful for descripting blueprints to the Crucible. Grifting the blueprints to the Crucible. Updated. Alliance analyzing Prothean sphere recovered from Hades Nexus gathered useful data from the research. Updated. The base of Herspa period statue is covered in Prothean writings. Translation have proven useful to engineers working on the Prothean device. The 103 or the 103rd Marine Division. The old saying, every Marine is a rifleman, still holds true in the Alliance. Every Marine enlisted from clerk to sniper goes through a period of infantry training. As a result, the 103rd Marine Division is Earth's largest collection of Special Forces soldiers. Officers for notable battles, such as the Skyllian Blitz and the First Contact War, run harsh training exercise in a variety of environments, insisting that Marines be prepared to storm any beach on any planet. This training has been useful in the Reaper War, as the 103rd can be fighting the Arctic Desert one week and crawling through the jungles in the next. Updated. Nicknamed the Bridge Burners, Team Zeta are combat engineers who specialize in destroying enemy fortifications and hostile territory. This tight-knit group of men and women are respected for their knowledge and renowned for their tenacity and famous for their enthusiasm. Updated, the Alliance Marine Reconnaissance Unit flies recon drones and occasionally puts live recon teams into play. AMRU works hard to ensure that information is up to date, using VIs to disseminate intel as quickly as possible. Updated, biotics from Grissom Academy have joined the 103rd Marine Division as support unit. The students focus their biotics into barriers that shield the Marines and help control the flow of the battlefield. Updated, Admiral Hackett dispatched Marines to the planet Artroch to rescue deep cover agent Dr. Amanda Kenson. The teams were killed in an explosion that would wipe both colony and systems relay. The teams were killed in an explosion that wiped both the colony and the systems relay. The Alliance spent weeks piecing together to scatter radio transmission, learning that the Marines felt that they had no choice but to send an asteroid in the relay to prevent. Wait, what? No, that's not true. I did that. That was me. I did this. Okay, I guess the game's a glitch because I did this. I had no choice to send an asteroid into the relay to prevent invasion of Reapers. While it bought the Alliance some time, men and women lost in the machine were severe blow to the 103rd Marine Corps, which is bullshit because I did that. Updated, Commander Shepard's interview with Diana Allers about the attempted takeover of the Citadel noted Cerberus' tactical missteps, which proved morale of Alliance ground forces. The Alliance First Fleet. First Fleet is stationed near Sharon Relay when the Reapers invaded the Sol System. By the time Admiral Hackett issued an order to retreat, its size, once the largest in the Alliance Navy, has been cut in half. Commanding Admiral Ines Lindholm made a painful decision to use the 10th of the fleet's remaining vessels as cover so the remainder could escape. Her gamble paid off as the First Fleet limped out of the relay to rally with the rest of the Alliance forces on the run. Updated, SSV Angkor, one of the many Alliance ships that saved the colony of the world of Elysium from the pirates and slavers during the Skyllian Blitz in 2167. In order to stay within its vessel and crew, its captain refused to promotion after the Blitz. Okay. Updated, SSV Leipzig, the first Alliance frigate to field test the Thanax cannon, a compact version of the Reaper weapon developed by the Battle of Citadel. Leipzig's captain was pleased with the results. She gave an unconditional recommendation that the Alliance begin mass producing the cannon as soon as possible. Updated, This fleet lost a third of his vessels protecting the Citadel during the Battle of Citadel 2 years ago. Unfortunately, the Alliance did not have time to rebuild the fleet to its previous strength before the Reapers invaded. Updated. Improved treatments and chemical burns have been implemented by Alliance doctors and medics. Third Fleet. Stationed at Arcturus, the Third Fleet is headed by Admiral Nitesh Singh. When the Reapers came for the station, Singh has already pulled his command and SS Logan back to ideal firing position for mass acceleration cannons. The Dreadnought's guns managed to slow down the destroyer before it could demolish the Third Fleet, but Singh's forces retreated to the face of overwhelming opposition from the Reapers. Updated, the SS Nairobi. Nairobi is a top-of-the-line cruiser with a showroom finish of ship just off the factory line. It's never seen warfare. Nairobi's officers have been running mock battles in preparation for real enemy contact. Updated. Trafalgar was in the middle of an engine overhaul when the Cerberus flotilla engaged in a firefight, barely escaping on auxiliary power. Its crew later finished upgrade and ship's record time, meeting the Alliance forces. Updated, the fleet lost a third of its vessels protecting Citadel during the Battle of Citadel 2 years ago. Unfortunately, the Alliance did not have time to rebuild the fleet to its previous strength before the Reapers invaded. Updated, human forces fighting Cerberus took losses due in part to sabotage of engineers in the Alliance Third Fleet. God damn it. Kaylee Sanders. First Lieutenant Kaylee Sanders joined Grissom Academy's board directors when she gave up her military career when Cerberus raid on the academy thwarted by Commander Shepard. Sanders joined the Alliance engineers working to recreate the Prothean device found on Mars. Her past work on systems technicians, specifically studying synthetic intelligence, has helped decode some of the complex feedback systems that control the weapon's energy output. Updated, some of Grissom Academy's most technical-minded students saved by Cerberus by Commander Shepard. They met up with Sanders, contributing their brainpower to some of the problems she's been tackling. Updated, David Archer is another refugee from Grissom Academy working on the device. Despite his youth, Archer's theories in interstellar cross-modulation has won him the respect of project scientist. Jack, formerly known as Subject Zero, may be the most talented biotic of her time. After helping Shepard destroy the Collector, she was offered a teaching position at Grissom Academy by the Alliance, accepting the position for reasons of her own. Jack continued to hone her skills while training her students. Grissom Academy Board of Directors member Kaylee Sanders has vouched for Jack's energetic, unorthodox teaching style, impressed with the inroads made with the children under the Rogue Biotics care. Arcturus 1st Division. The Arcturus 1st Division is a volunteer of Army, civilians, paramedic forces, and reserve soldiers who have banded together to stop the Reaper occupation of Benning to avoid detection of Reaper forces. Its members operate in cells, never staying in one place long. A handful of Alliance officials are coordinating the 1st Division, sharing intel and sending supplies to resisting soldiers. A few Alliance squadrons have been spared to support Benning's makeshift army with trained soldiers. Alliance Spec Ops Team Delta. Half of Team Delta's officers have N5 designations, while a few N6 soldiers in the ranks. They specialize in conflicts outside Citadel space. Delta is known as for a strict admission of standards professionalism on high-stakes missions, and the Alliance loudest parties. When asked how the senior staff looks at their off-duty rowdiness, Captain Matthew Brown is quoted saying, "After the shit we went through in the Terminus systems, we're happy to not be burning down the base." Alliance cruiser Shanghai. The Shanghai's most important part in the Reaper War today is evacuation of colony Ukbar. Alliance intel reported Reaper forces heading towards Ukbar, but the cruiser the Shanghai was unable to land on the medium gravity world. The Shanghai's captain quickly dispatched all shuttles to help transport hundreds of colonists onto the ship, making over 41 shuttle runs in a single hour. The Shanghai managed to evacuate the entire remaining population when the Reaper forces arrived. Ukbar's capital city was empty, as it never been inhabited at all. Alliance Naval Exploration Flotilla. Peacetime, the Alliance Naval Exploration Flotilla was used as survey forces to chart out new systems. The NEF came under fire in 2185 when several dozen service people were charged with withholding information of rich mining deposits in order to sell locations to exploration firm Beria Frontiers. The Alliance attempted to hide controversy with little to avail, as more and more officers were indicted. Eager to bury its shady history, the NEF has dedicated its entire flotilla and material resources to constructing the Crucible. Communications array. Before fleeing on Termora with Commander Shepard's help, the technician Grace Sato saved a copy of schematics for Alliance's most advanced communications relay. Sato will use these schematics to build several smaller arrays to collect crucial information from various points of the systems. Alliance 6th Fleet. Alliance 6th Fleet was traveling through the Council space when Earth was invaded. His men and women on board watched helplessly as the footage of devastation rolled in. Their last orders from Admiral Hackett was avoid engagement and lay in reserve. After waiting for long, the 6th Fleet is eager to engage the enemy. Strange how it's lower than the 1st and 3rd Fleet, and yet it hasn't seen any combat recently. Alliance 5th Fleet. 5th Fleet became most famous across the galaxy after spearheading Alliance forces at the Battle of Citadel. It's guarding Arcturus system when Reapers attacked. After a bloody and desperate battle, Admiral Hackett gave the order to retreat, sacrificing the entirety of the 2nd Fleet to give the 3rd and 5th chance to escape. The 5th Fleet's engineers are busy repairing the damaged vessel, grimly anticipating the return to Earth and revenge against the Reapers. Updated. The original SSV Hong Kong was destroyed in the Battle of Citadel when its captain threw her ship in front of the blast meant for the dreadnought. The ship's frame was later melted down and incorporated into the framework of a new frigate rebuilt as its successor. Updated. The fleet lost a third of vessels protecting the Citadel during the Council during the Battle of Citadel 2 years ago. Unfortunately, the Alliance was never able to do the thing that it did. Updated. A pair of entrepreneurs persuaded to switch from creating financial programs to advising weapon targeting VIs to sell them to Alliance just above cost. Updated Cerberus encryption codes helping the Alliance predict where Cerberus is heading next. Updated Krogan power grids are supplying energy to Purgatory, allowing the club to operate as usual, improving the morale of soldiers on short leave. Kasumi Goto. Kasumi is wanted for over a dozen systems for sabotage, hacking, theft, and laundry lists of other crimes. The Alliance is willing to overlook Goto's indiscretions in exchange for her help with the Crucible. In addition, her expertise with electronic systems, security systems, Goto can acquire important technology without thought loss or struck deep in enemy territory. No one dares ask how she acquires these items. Zaid Masani. Zaid Masani has a reputation as one of the most relentless and efficient mercenaries in Terminus systems. Cerberus contacted Masani with a few months after the collectors were destroyed to offer them a job. Negotiations end badly. Zaid now seeks out jobs that opposes his former employer's interests. Brings years of experience and finally homes survival skills to the fight against the Reapers. Diana Allers, which only gives us 5 despite all her interviews. Alliance News Network reporter Diana Allers has been broadcasting from the Normandy, interviewing crew members and high-ranking Alliance officers to give them a galaxy and insider's view on the war. Alliance frigate Normandy SR2. The original SSV Normandy was destroyed. Cerberus rebuilt the ship from stolen Alliance plans. Dubbed the SR2, the Alliance took the new Normandy apart and refitted it with systems with new technology of its own. As a result, SR2 is the highest performing frigate in the entire Alliance Navy. It's possible the fastest ship in its class. The Normandy is commanded by Shepard, an Alliance officer and humanity's first Spectre. Updated. To bolster Normandy's firepower, Commander Shepard installed Thanek's magnetic hydromatic cannon on the ship's undercarriage based on Reaper technology. A powerful weapon fires molten metal to accelerated to a fraction of the lightest speed of light. Updated. Before taking on the Collectors, Commander Shepard retrofitted Normandy's superstructure with Solaris armor. This protective layer of carbon nanotubes sheeting can withstand temperatures that would normally vaporize conventional armor. Updated. Normandy has been upgraded with Psionic barrier technology, allowing the ship's Mass Effect field projectors to fire rapidly, insulating barriers that deflect rather than directly absorb kinetic shocks. Updated. Although the Normandy is tough enough to withstand ship-to-ship firepower, wear and tear takes its toll. Vacuum of space, solar irradiation, and retained stealth mode, stress of burning onboard fusion plant that puts stress on ship's many complex systems. Alliance staff technicians have repaired and tested the Normandy while it was in dry dock and assured to the crew that it was now performed better than ever. Updated. Crew of the Normandy, both past and present, have bounded together on their shore leave experience and vented stress that could otherwise damage mental focus. They will fight for Shepard uh, or for one another in a renewed zeal. Mineral resources. Commander Shepard uncovered significant elemental deposits while scanning planets with the Normandy SR2. When the Alliance dry docked Normandy, they seized all recovered elements, and this material surplus has gone towards building the Prothean device discovered on Mars. Whose Hope's colonists, the Sari Shyla, 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 was rescued by Commander Shepard from Thorian on Zhu's Hope. Now she leads a militia and Zhu Hope colonists, waging surprising effective campaign against the encroaching Reapers. Shyla was suspects the group's prior connection to Thorian gives their soldiers an uncanny ability to sense one another, allowing them to think and act as one in battle. Long-term consequences of this connection are unknown, but for now, at least, effects are helping the cause. I forgot how to pronounce it. It's like Kalsana bint Shina al-Jalani. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Westerland's new reporter Al-Jalani reached out recently to her viewers with a wartime plea to unity and cooperation among the galactic species. Updated her sincerity, touched externate viewers, and donation for relief efforts are pouring in, both Alliance and alien allies. Eden Prime support. Eden Prime is an agrarian world producing millions of tons of food that is sold to less arable planets. The Alliance has set up supply lines from this colony to funnel excess provisions to troops. Updated. Few researchers who studied Prothean technology and on Eden Prime avoided capture by Cerberus. They forwarded copies of their work to the Alliance, hoping it could help Prothean device found on Mars. Updated, although its military defenses were seriously damaged by Cerberus invasion, Eden Prime's remaining government has loaned the Alliance several Athabasca class supply freighters. Updated, Eden Prime's colonists drove Cerberus away from their systems entirely. With shipping lanes secured, the colony is sending out as many supplies and equipment it could spare. I'm gonna drink some more water. Not even sure I'm gonna be able to get to my crew talks. That'll be next episode, I guess, since I'm only on the Alliance here. Ooh. Synth diamond heat sinks. Synthetic diamond is key to ingredient to military-grade heat sinks that are used in computing high-end terminal clips and starship weapons. Liberating tons from its facilities on Brest will help ground forces and space forces. Dr. Anne Bryson has survived her ordeal with Leviathan's artifact and retained most of her mental faculties. Her research into palotechnology can be useful in understanding the Prothean device and laws of high-energy physics that Reapers seem to ignore. Oh boy. Hopefully the rest are not as long as these two, because these two seem to be the most. Sorry, science team. Maybe not, Jesus Christ. Many respected Asari scientists have used their long lifespans to become leading experts in their fields. Asari scholars have often gain perspective on how cultural shifts affect society, grasping larger contextual forces behind new proposals and using this springboard on new hypotheses years ahead of their time. The Asari science team working on Crucible consists of some of the keenest scientific mavericks in the galaxy, eager to contribute to its construction. Asari's Second Fleet. The Asari Second Fleet is largely composed of frigates and fighters, embody the Asari's hit-and-run mindset with nimble swarm rather than slower collection of vessels. Second is normally dispatched to protect colonies from pirate raiders or mercenary activities. The Second Fleet's fighter squadrons are intensely competitive and racing to break new records set by other teams, but unquestionably loyal to each other in a fight. Updated, a group of mercenaries sent by a matriarch friend of the commander have volunteered their services. They'll ride with the Second Fleet, deploying to combat zones as required. Updated, Shepard passed the Reaper code fragment to Asari High Command. This isolated copy will predict Reaper movements. Asari Sixth Fleet. Sixth Fleet is more dreadnought than any other collection of ships in the Asari Navy. An almost superstitious dread has grown around its entrance into conflict as any war with the fleet has never remained small. It was the Sixth Fleet that flew against the Arachni at the beginning of the Arachni Wars. It was the Sixth Fleet that liberated the first colony under siege by Kroban rebellions. Unfairly or not, service people have reputation of being sober, serious, and humorless. Nevertheless, Sixth Fleet is welcome sight to any and all ally when it arrives. The Library of Asha contains definition works by Asari on the art of war. These texts have been distributed as a standard training manuals to all Asari recruits. The Destiny Ascension. Destiny Ascension is a flagship of the Citadel Fleet, the powerful Asari dreadnought, unlike any other vessel in the galaxy. Captained by Matriarch Lindania, the Destiny Ascension evacuated the Council during the 2183 Battle of the Citadel, but was crippled by attacking Geth. The Alliance fleets came in, taking heavy fire, but saving the Ascension and the Council from destruction. The Asari have repaired and upgraded the Dreadnought shielding and firepower, committing a formidable ship the fight against the Reapers. Asari Commandos. Asari Commandos train from an early age to control their minds and bodies, seeking the ultimate economy of thought and movement. They are taught with each shot and each decision be made without hesitation. While exact training methods are vary among teams, all commandos are consummated professionals. Their ambushes and quick strikes, clever tactics have bested larger, well-armed units in 1,000 recorded conflicts. Samara. The Justicar is an ancient Asari. The Justicars are an ancient Asari order dedicated to finding and punishing those who would harm others. They rigidly adhere to the Justicar's code, a comprehensive, completed list of laws. By assaulting the innocent and slaughtering the helpless and refusing to acknowledge any authority above themselves, the Reapers are an affront to nearly everything in the code stands for. Justicar Samara has set aside all responsibilities, pledging to stop the Reapers even if it kills her. Dr. Jalez. Dr. Jalez is a scientist found on the research station in Celebian Nebula. She's working on a paper that argued nanocircuitry that could solve complex behavior problems in commercial VIs. The doctor's theoretical work seems to supported by data in the Crucible's blueprints. She now heads departments in building the weapons circuit boards. Armali Sniper Unit. The Armali Sniper Unit is a elite team of sniper Asari commandos who favor long-distance engagements. Some of the unit's soldiers have augmented themselves with strength-boosting cybernetic implants, allowing them to fire heavier weapons like the 39mm M98 Widow anti-material rifle with incredible precision. Ceres Guard. The Ceres Guard is set out to stop the Blood Pack mercenaries attempting to enslave Asari colonies and term systems. After ship-to-ship fight, the commandos and mercs crash-landed. With no means of contact Thessia, the surviving Asari continued to engage ground Blood Pack with whittling down frustrated slavers with traps and ambushes and nighttime offenses. After 9 days and more than 100 casualties, the Blood Pack surrendered, and the mercenaries were astonished to learn that they only been battling 5 Asari commandos. Although the guards downplayed their heroics, they became an instant celebrities upon their return to Thessia. The Asari cruiser Nephrain. Asari cruiser Nephrain is named for the lost city to be buried in ice at Thessia's south pole. The cruiser carries scars from scores of Geth fighters it took during the Battle of the Citadel in 2183. The cruiser refuses to have the scars removed, considering them marks of honor and reminding how close they came to annihilation. Asari research ships. Asari Science and Orishoni have isolated themselves to prevent academic and corporate theft of their work. They've been researching new polymers, looking for materials with high heat resistance and zero conductivity that is dirt cheap to produce. One of their prototype materials appears to be ideal for consulting Crucible venting chambers. Asari cruiser Saiban. The Asari cruiser class warship, a mix of this up during the cruiser's construction left it without unusually large drive core, and engineers designed the ship around the extensive power source. The Saiban is usually robust engines provide enough energy to generate kinetic barriers normally reserved for dreadnoughts. Asari engineers, the graceful soaring spires common to Asari architecture looks deceptively delicate. But Thessia's palaces, universities, and theaters have stood longer than most civilizations. Sorry, architecture engineers dispatched to the Crucible are testing the weapons construction to make sure that they can withstand tremendous amounts of pressure. Built improperly, stress could tear the Crucible in half upon activation. Husk neural map. Jesus Christ, why is that here? Why is it under Asari? Biologists of Chalka have made quick study of the brain structures of husks and other Reaper creatures, isolating parts of the brain and responsible for interpreting sensory data. Their conclusions contrast the various strengths and weaknesses of Reaper ground forces when it comes to sight, smell, hearing, and so forth. This data could be extremely useful for soldiers and citizens trying to escape and evade Reapers on preoccupied planets. Okay. Crucible. Christ. I think I'm not gonna read the rest of this. Because my voice is getting hoarse and I'm only on Crucible and there's way more to go. Sadly, I don't think I could do this as much as I wanted to. Okay, maybe I can. Yeah, maybe I can. Hold on. Okay, I think I can do this actually. Now that I've looked at them all, the Crucible seems like the second longest one. But hold on, let me just get a drink of water. Let's do this. Advanced starship fuel. Helium-3 is used to power a vast majority of commercial starships. Chemical engineers on Psion added experimental mixtures of compounds to the gas to make more efficient for fuels for ships traveling long distances. One of their new formulas used to in ships transporting major load of materials. The Crucible speeding up building process. Javelin missile launchers developed by Alliance. Javelin missiles release dark energy upon impact. This creates a devastating space-time disruption, magnifying warp fields that strip away the target's molecular bonds. Even the strongest kinetic barriers will eventually collapse under multiple impacts from these Alliance rockets. Sorry, I've got hiccups. Alliance R&D commandeered several colony factories, now produce enough Javelin missile launchers for all dreadnoughts in Alliance fleet. Bolus fabrication units. Bolus companies are skilled at mass producing whatever manufacturing goods are currently in demand. Factories are used modular equipment to switch their production lines from arms to housing to the galactic buying trend. Recovering from manufacturing compound, these fabrication units can stamp out custom plastics for the Crucible in industrial scale. Volus engineering team. Elkis Combine is a manufacturer known for producing reliable but less expensive armor versions of higher grade weapons and armor. Their scientists are adept at reverse engineering new technology. The Volus engineers rescued from Satu Ard are applying these same methods to break down instructions on how to create several dozen new plastics that might integrate into the Crucible's superstructure. In a show of unprecedented generosity, Elkis Combine has waived all proprietary claims to any new compounds created by its scientists. Interferometric array. Normally, the interferometric arrays are used to analyze planetary landmasses to determine astrophysical properties of stellar systems. Powerful array salvaged from Hercules system can be used for something much more ambitious. The Crucible tunes into master relays to command switches, installing the interferometric array to the Crucible systems results in a real-time map of the entire galaxy, including the position of every Reaper in the Milky Way, which would be super useful. Exogeny scientists. The Exogeny Corporation helped fund colonies over the galaxy in exchange for a share of any of the natural resources found by settlers. Zhu's Hope was one of their richest claims. The colonists were obligated to turn any Prothean discoveries in an ancient ruins on Theros. A team of exogeny scientists studying a few scraps of Prothean material found in Zhu's Hope have become experts on their own right, contributing their knowledge to the Crucible project. Prothean data drives. These Prothean discs were found years ago on Eden Prime, discovered a few months before the discovery of the Prothean beacon in 2183. For years, the data discs were incomprehensible. So the Crucible's blueprints provided a key to understanding the equations. Locked inside disks were theories and dark matter meant to be used the Crucible's main power source. Shadowbroker Starship Tech. Shadowbroker's unnamed vessel serves as both data repository and stealth ship for the Enatic information trader. The ship ingeniously drew its power from the thunderstorms raging on the planet. It orbited, relying on interlocking systems of kinetic barriers, grounding rods, and capacitors to avoid being ripped apart. These systems have been repurposed for sections of the crucible that require safe discharge of tremendous amount of energy. Terminus freighters. Terminus systems team with planets to enrich in rare elements, minerals, and other raw materials important for Crucible. Fortunately, the Terminus systems have been a great quantity of freighter vessels, the Abasca class ships, while only lightly armored, can carry 1,000,000 tons of freight, with the fuel tanks optimized for long, hazardous journeys. Element Zero Converter. Element Zero refineries are large industrial facilities that remove impurities from the element called EZO before it's used in fuel starships or gravity generators. It's an important process by sending electrical charge through impure EZO can cause the element to explode. By setting up conversion facility besides the crucible, EZO can be mined, refined, and supplied to the project on record time. Emergency fuel pods. The fuel pods scavenged from the field of debris in Valahan Threshold were once attached to a fleet of merchant vessels taking long, risky journeys into uncharted space. These pods have repurposed for the Crucible project. When activated, the Crucible's fusion reactors consume oceans of helium-3. The fuel pods will serve as emergency reservoirs should the weapons use more power than expected. Advanced power relays. The advanced power relays are 15 kilometers of insulated wiring connected to switch boxes that regulate the energy flow. Installing the relays in the Crucible will prevent catastrophic power surges from overloading its systems. HAPIC optic arrays. The HAPIC optic array is an experimental computer user interface. The cortical implants allow the user to see screens projected in front of them. A user's eyes movements are tracked, syncing to the hand gestures that they sit through data. While the disorienting at first, people use optics array to report increased efficiency, and technology has been adapted by several dozen engineers for use on the Crucible. Reaper Heart, which we got from Cerberus. As Commander Shepard destroyed the Collector's base, Cerberus spent months picking through the irradiated rubble for anything useful. The human proto-Reaper the Collectors were building lay in pieces, but its incomplete core survived. The power cell have been capable of fueling a fledgling Reaper. After studying the device, Cerberus modified the fuel the Illusive Man's base. Alliance engineers believe it could use the core similarly to power the Crucible. Optimize EZO capacitors. Team engineering working at the Normandy SR2 developed a theory beyond a piece of equipment. Dreadnought-class drive capacitors use specialized EZO-based compounds to channel and store their thermal energy in greater efficiency than previous design. These capacitors were quickly incorporated into the design of the device found in the Prothean archives on Mars. Jovian dissertation. Scientist data draws conclusions about the gas giant Azel's exceptionally powerful magnetic field, which has complex interactions with those on the moons. Mathematics used in a model this complexity can provide new insights into the math of the Prothean device. A brief glance at the data hints at some kind of energetic pulse that might pass through the magnosphere of a planet, unimpeded by any details, are best derived by high energy physicists. Radiation shielding sheath. Prothean device is being built in space where its inner workings are maybe vulnerable to cosmic radiation from nearby stars. While the construction plan was taking standard risk into account, a sudden turn in space weather could pierce the basic shielding and radiate the device and the crew. Superior radiating shield used by the orbital stations near the gas giant Cetus would provide a low-cost way to keep the device safe, but against all but the utmost unusual energetic emissions. Okay, cool. Ex Cerberus, which I think is the second to last long one. Or maybe it'd be the Krogans are after this, right? Yeah. This is the last long list. Cerberus research data. Data liberated from Cerberus Research Lab include reports on composition and strengths of various Reaper units. Alliance scientists are fact-checking information, but it appears genuine, so Alliance military VIs can use to strategize against Reaper's ground forces. Advanced Fighter Squadron. Squadron of advanced fighter ships was liberated from Reaper forces in Noveria. Fast, agile, and remarkably fuel-efficient, these one-person spacecrafts can pack surprisingly heavy firepower for their size. After Alliance installed their own VI programs and swept hidden bugs and transmission signals, they repainted a fighter and pressed them into service. Smart. Ex-Cerberus scientists. The Illusive Man's search for humanity's best attracted many renowned scientists. Cerberus offers generous salaries and brand new facilities, unfettered research budgets. Despite these lavish perks, some began to worry about the ethical ramifications of their work. The scientists rescued from Gelix were among the first to leave Cerberus. They diligently helped construct the Crucible. Dr. Bryn Cole. Dr. Bryn Cole is an ex-Cerberus scientist who studied the technology left behind by the Collectors. She eventually cut ties with Sir Luciman and helped dozens of scientists and their families flee their organization. The Doctor has joined the Crucible project and used the knowledge gained during their employment with the Cerberus to help build the weapon. Dr. Gavin Archer. Gavin Archer was a well-known synthetic intelligence specialist from Terra Nova who disappeared years ago to work with Cerberus. Now that he's parted ways with the former employer, Archer's among the scientists working on the Crucible. He studies the VIs and AIs, in particular the Geth, gives them unique insights into parallel processing and inter-system communications that have already improved the weapon's efficiency. Jacob Taylor. After helping Commander Shepard destroy the Collectors, Jacob Taylor cut ties with Cerberus. He joined the war following the attack on the safe house of the former Citadel operatives, where he was hiding out. Jacob turned down the formal reinstatement to the Alliance Marine Corps, feeling his past with Cerberus disqualified himself from their company. Taylor instead is a consultant advising Alliance on Cerberus tactics and defenses. He also participates in missions that target the Illusive Man's holdings. Cerberus engineers. Kelly Chamber contacted several former Cerberus engineers, convincing them as a way to make up for mistakes, to come out of hiding and help build the Crucible. Appalled at how Cerberus was turned on humanity, these Cerberus deserters have thrown themselves into their new task with passion. Miranda Lawson. Miranda Lawson is an ex-Cerberus operative at Cerberus. Her intelligence and dedication and leadership impressed the Illusive Man, who assigned her to head the Lazarus Cell team that brought Commander Shepard back to life. Lawson brings extensive knowledge of the Illusive Man's dealings to the Alliance, directing them towards several clandestine Cerberus operations. A skilled shot and a gifted biotic, Lawson's comfortable with pitch battle as she is with the boardroom. Hot damn, 50 minutes of just speaking. Oops. Krogan. Urdnot Rex. Urdnot Rex fought along Commander Shepard during the Reaper's first invasion attempt in 2183. Afterwards, he returned to Tuchanka, with the following years rising to leadership of his clan, championing progressive methods meant to strengthen the Krogan as a whole. Conservative elements were unhappy, but the news of a successful cure genophage had solidly united all of Tuchanka under Rex's command. Held not only as a great warrior, but a savior, the Krogan will follow Urdnot Rex into the maws of the Reapers themselves. Grunt. The perfect Krogan was thrown into the world without a past, a name, or a cause. After destroying the Collectors with the Commander Shepard, Grunt returned to Chunka to learn what it meant to be Krogan. After countless arguments and brawls, the clans have granted Grunt a modicum of existence. Tough and wary, cunning, the young Krogan knows this experience will pay off. Now it's time to fight the Reaper's forces. Arlak Company. Ancient Tuchanka legends claim to be... I think I already read this, but ancient Tuchanka legends claim that the Arlak Wastes are named after a system star. Where the first warriors died in battle, Arlak Company was made up of Krogan from all over Tuchanka, each chosen for their strength and ferocity and fighting experience. No Krogan community would dream of sending anything less than its finest warriors to represent their clans, the honor of whose chosen for the company has started more than one brawl. Updated. Arlak Company is led by Grunt, a genetically engineered perfect soldier who fought the Collectors with Commander Shepard. While young, the Krogan has survived such brutal battles that the older warriors groups have begrudgingly accepted his command. Updated. Grunt was anointed to represent Clan Urtnot. In addition to becoming head of Orlac Company, a political appointment was not lost. Appointment was not lost on the other clans. Grant sees his new position as the first victory as he won on his own. The respect of his people was difficult to come by. Updated. Wave after wave, Arachni overwhelmed Orlac Company on Utuku while fighting an impressive enemy to the death, and is considered an honor for every Krogan. Orlac Company has been effectively wiped out. Krogan First Division. The Krogan First Division is a conglomeration of infantry and vehicles hastily organized into a single coalition force. Chain of command is divided by a clan, with a representative from each serving as officers, despite ancient differences. Fighting Reapers together is building a spirit of camaraderie among divisions of warriors Krogan from different clans, starting to swap equipment, stories, and the occasional bottle of Rheinkall. Krogan clans. Centuries of Krogan infighting abruptly halted with the news of the cure of Genophage. With their future restored, Tuchanka's clans have united to show a force not seen since the Arachni Wars. The clan have also stockpiling weapons of mass destruction for decades. Thankfully, their destructive force can now be turned on the Reapers instead of Tuchanka. Their strength, size, and regenerative powers make Krogan's ideal shock troops. Updated. Commander Shepard's interview with Diana Allers about bringing Krogan into the Reaper War has cast the Krogan in a favorable light, which drew even more clans to Allied Forces banner. Updated. Fierce, toxin-immune creatures known as Calicosaurs, once used in bound mounts by Krogan, have been cloned, and fossil Calicosaur skull discovered by Commander Shepard. Clan Urtnot. Clan Urtnot has been an official but uncontested representative of the body Krogan. The rest of the galaxy. Within the past decade, Urtnot's warriors have been absorbed or wiped by Clan Nockmore, Jernda, Quash, and even the legendary ferocious Clan Rayok. The discovery of a fertile Urtnot female rallied even more Krogan, and regardless of affiliation to Urtnot's banner. Krogan mercenaries. Many Krogan went fortune-seeking out in the lawless terminus systems, imposing bulk and infamous brutality won them prized positions as bodyguards and mercenaries. When the news of a genophage cure spread, these drifters, contacted by the clans, earned to join Shepard's forces against Reapers. After centuries of lameless brawls, bleak futures, the Krogan everywhere are heeding the call. Nice. Geth. Geth Corp. Until recently, the Geth expected nothing but violence from organics and designated themselves accordingly. All Geth platforms are armed with shielded, built to withstand combat when they're on the battlefield. Enemy tactics and positions are swapped instantaneously between AIs. The Geth also employ turrets and drones, expendable hardware to support to keep losses of network platforms to a minimal. The result is the largest, perhaps best equipped infantry in the galaxy. Updated. Commander Shepard interview with Diana Allers about the Geth emphasized their values as a strong military allies. The Council reluctantly sent Geth shipments of rare materials to upgrade ground units. Geth fleet. Many Geth vessels are built to explore, mine, and provide transport between factories and space stations, but every Geth ship, regardless of purpose, is also capable of engaging hostile forces. Unbound by the Treaty of Pharanax, the synthetics intelligence built almost as many dreadnoughts as Turians. The software running on these ships is in the Geth themselves. Highly advanced electronic security measures and cyber warfare suites bolsters already formidable firepower. Updated. Rewriting the Geth heretics significantly boosted their processing power of the true Geth. Their increased strength has made the fleets both more efficient and lethal in battle. Geth Prime Platoon. Geth Primes are built to house more programs than other platforms, operate as mobile networking hubs. Their communication software provides a boost to any Geth nearby, coordinating and directing attacks. The destruction of a Prime unit can cause the processing power of the other Geth to drop. Prime hardware platforms are heavily shielded and well armed. Solarian. Major Kirahim. Major Kirahim made his mark leading the Solarian Special Task Groups, STG, that helped Commander Shepard stop Sereneth Vermeer. Lauded by his superiors for his decisive leadership under fire, Kirahim promoted and decorated with prestigious Star of Surkesh. Major continues to join missions that his men believing that nothing substitute experience, and that the best tactical strategy are planned on the battlefield. Solarian Third Fleet. An Alliance Rear Admiral once unfairly dismissed the Solarian Third Fleet as nothing more than an overabundance of spy planes. While the Solarians rely heavily on gathering intelligence in any war, the Third Fleet's firepower is comparable to any major naval force. Its vessels are the latest in Guardian defense systems with improved tracking algorithms to handle greater number of projectiles other than older models. Even its scouting flotillas have been armed with hull-mounted Thanax cannons developed in conjunction with the Turian military. Updated. With their egg clutch, now that their egg clutches are out of danger, the Solarian colony Sequal is shipping all materials and weapons it can muster to the Third Fleet. Turian. Oh, this is probably the longest one. Turian 79th Flotilla. The Turian 79th Flotilla distinguished itself during the Krogan rebellions when they clashed with Krogan warships above Digeris. The 79th sacrificed themselves a great number to bring down Krogan vessels attacking the colony. Centuries later, the flotilla continues to rely on speed and stealth to harass the enemy. They run interference to fight. Words are hard now that I've been speaking for literally an hour straight. Interference, divert fire, and make bombing runs of enemy ground units until anti-air defenses manage to target them. Turian Sixth Fleet. Turian Navy has most dreadnoughts of any known species in the Milky Way. The Turian hierarchy limited production of these ships only because the Treaty of Pharnax strictly controls the number of dreadnoughts due to their destructive capabilities. The Turian Sixth Fleet is technically classified as a peacekeeping fleet. Before the Reapers, it was chiefly used to patrol space around Citadel. Now it's ready to fly to areas trying to fight off the invasion. Updated. Commander Shepard recovered a neurotoxin formula from a Cerberus lab using it to make an antidote for a poisoned Turian general. Turian 43rd Marine Division. The Turian 43rd Marine Division was founded during the ancient unification wars that rocketed Palaven 2,000 years ago. The 43rd maintains relations with other council races, running joint training exercises with Asari, Solarian, and most recently Alliance military forces. Knowing how their allies fight has become an asset, the 43rd's troops have the discipline and experience to integrate into any army on any battlefield. Turian 7th Fleet. Turian 7th Fleet was assigned to the privilege and burden of guarding the Crucible during the weapons construction and deployment. The fleet flies constant surveillance around the massive device, coordinating with Alliance security patrols and VI counterintelligence programs. 7th Fleet knows what it costs the galaxy if the Reapers breach their defenses, and every vessel captain is prepared to make an ultimate sacrifice if it ensures the Crucible's safety. Updated. Crates of dextro amino acid metagel have been shipped to Turian 7th Fleet. This supply will help Turian medics to treat potentially fatal wounds. Updated. Recovering legendary banner of the 1st Regiment lifted the spirits of overworked Turian forces. Turian Blackwatch. A team of exponentially skilled special ops soldiers, Blackwatch is sent on missions that threaten the safety of Palaven itself. It was pulled from the homeworld by order of Primar Arden Victus, who wanted to mobilize this elite force in less than hopeless situation across the galaxy. The majority of Blackwatch operations are classified, although it's generally accepted that they have the highest success rate than any Turian unit in history. There are rumors that Saren Arterius was part of Blackwatch before becoming a Spectre, although given his youth when he joined the Turian army, it seems highly unlikely. Turian Engineering Corps. In a society where military is synonymous with the government, the Turian Engineering Corps is responsible for everything, maintaining sidewalks to creating spaceports. Their frame spread beyond Palaven after they helped repair damage done to the Citadel by Sovereign in record time. TEC engineers view the Crucible as the greatest challenge of their career. They have sped up the building process with their expertise and equipment. Turian Spec Ops team. Guard Captain Vidonis heads a special operatives team that distinguishes themselves from the war of Tectorus, tacking down all Turian special separatist leaders opposing the hierarchy. During the war, the separatists rammed a ship traveling at FTL speeds into the heart of Tectorus' capital. Vidonis' unit experienced their worst fighting and Devolian wildlands, unwelcome marshes with population of deeply sympathetic to the separatists' cause. Dextro rations. When we were struck with the Reapers, the agribusiness of Triganta Petra has surplus of both plant and animal-based products for dextro amino acid-based sapiens, Volturian troops, and those who favor a heavy, meaty diet, and the Quarians who typically vegan, show marked preferences for these recovered rations, suggesting that although they were wiped out by enemy forces, Petrans were pretty good taste. Serving Petran food to a unit about to go into combat can restore a little morale and dignity to an otherwise demoralized squad. Last but not least, Quarian, Admiral Darrow Vex. Admiral Darrow Vex is head of the Quarian Special Project research vessels that create and improve technology that keeps Quarian flotilla operational. Studying Geth of all her life, Zen is expert on synthetic intelligence. Admiral Zal Chorus. While Zal Chorus sacrificed his vessel to save the live ship, the civilian fleet that they lost their leader. After Commander Shepard brought Zal Chorus back, he passionately argued that the safest action for civilian fleet was to stay with the flotilla. His captains rallied and stayed. A story of Calvorus' miraculous survival won on Geth-infested Ranark has spread throughout the flotilla, making him a reluctant hero as he mourns the loss of his ship and crew. Quarian civilian fleet. The Quarian civilian fleet makes most of the Quarian flotilla. Properly coordinated, the fleet compensates its lack of dedicated warships with sheer numbers. Even its smallest crafts are equipped with ship-to-ship weaponry. Civilian live ships are enormous floating garden that produce food for Quarian and have been fitted with massive Thanax cannons to provide with heavy firepower. Updated. Rewriting the Gex heretics made the fleet get hurt. Yeah, I'm not going to read that because it's basically, for all these, they're going to say the Geth rewrite damage to fleet. Any pirates or mercenaries attempting to prey on the Quarian flotilla must contend with the heavy fleet's cruisers, frigates, and fighters and carriers. The heavy fleet is led by Admiral Han Gorel. The Admiral firmly believes the importance of ship maintenance and regular training exercises, actively encourages those on pilgrimages to seek out colony that will upgrade the fleet's capability. As a result, cutting-edge technology is found on the best of the fleet's vessels. Updated, the fleet sustained damage to several dozen frigates that were unable to repair themselves in time to avoid destruction during the War of Ranark. Updated, rewriting the heretic data damaged the fleet. Quarian patrol fleet. The patrol fleet are scouts flying ahead of the flotilla. Look out for mineral bodies and hostile forces. They scan spaces with VI systems that pick up the heat signatures of other signs of foreign vessels. The first ships are to be targeted in any conflict. Some Quarians, our finest engineers, monitor and repair the patrol fleet's shielding. The fleet's commanding officer, Admiral Shalaran, relies on speed and shield during combat. Updated, rewriting the Geth heretics damaged the fleet. And that's it. That's our forces going into the Reaper fight. We're currently at 94%. I might go play some multiplayer after this recording. Well, I mean, before next recording to make it 100%. We'll see. Maybe not. You might see it actually lower than 90% when we actually go to the fight. But yeah, that's it. We have effectively gotten the best military force, in my opinion, to fight the galaxy. Whew. That was a lot of speaking, by the way. This is our percentage, 93% across the board. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you stick around for next episode recording session thingy. We will probably talk with the crew after that. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you stick around for next episode recording session thingy, and I shall see you then. Bye-bye!